Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages, good day to you guys. I'm gonna give you a quick update where it's on this 17 F-150 over here. It's a 2.7 EcoBoost engine. We're gonna be pulling in this red Silverado, but this thing right here has turned into the bane of my existence. I did a couple videos on it last week, found out it's got a cracked cylinder head here in the passenger side. We found that out and confirmed it by pulling off the turbo. We thought it was a turbo seal leaking internally and blowing coolant out of it. We thought wrong. So the customer did not want to have that repaired because the cylinder head is many thousands of dollars and the labor is also many thousands of dollars. So he's gonna button it up and then I think trade it in or deal with it or do whatever. I'm not really sure, but we're not gonna fix it. But this thing's murdering me today. We had a series of very nasty storms come through here this weekend. And this thing was parked last Friday, right where it sits. We came out here today and look at what it's doing. Nada, nothing, no power. We got some electrons in here. I see you, we have a few electrons in here, but there is no key on power. The scan tool has detected that the BCM is offline and this has no body control module. So without BCM function, we have no lights, we have no horns, we have no cranking, we have nothing except for some door locks. Yeah, that's all we get. That's the only thing that it does. We got a dome light and some door locks. So, I don't know if it got hit by lightning. I don't know if water somehow got into this thing and filled up the fuse block. There's a bunch of water right here on the little bracket, but inside it looked fairly dry. I don't see anything wrong in there. That 60 amp fuse, that yellow one in the corner, that's the BCM's main power supply, and that fuse is powered. So I'm not sure what it did, but I need to circle back to this thing later on. Anyway, moving on with the concept of today's video, we've got this Silverado right here. I believe it's a 1999, one of the first of this body style. Customer states that the AC is a little weak, and if it sits and idles, the AC becomes less effective, and then the vehicle begins to overheat. So we need to determine if we have an air conditioning heat cycling problem, or if we have an engine cooling system problem, causing the AC system to shut down once over temp is achieved. So we're gonna bring this thing into the third stall over there and do a little bit of diag work on this unit, see what's going on. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up at 192,375 miles on the odometer. Starting the engine. Ooh, it's so scary. I have no blower motor. Okay, blower motor works on 3, 4, not 5. So I can tell you right now, we've got a failed blower motor resistor, I believe. Or little switch right there is ineffective. We'll check that later. That's not the primary concern. I think we're gonna find a lot going on with this truck, so stay tuned, guys. This right here is gonna be a super good video. See if this thing's too wide to fit. We got those wide body tires on this unit. Okay, well, I can tell you right now we've got some cold AC coming through the vents. So I believe the system is functioning normally. Could use a little bit more blower speed out of it, but we have cold air regardless. So let's pop the hood here and check under there, see what this thing's up to. We're coming up to temp right now. It's at 200, about 205 degrees maybe on the thermometer. So let's see if we have an engine overheating problem or if we've got a AC problem of some sort. You know, putting this thing on the ramp might not have been the best idea or greatest idea. It's a little high. This is my head height right here. Look at this. Yeah, that's like 5.5 feet tall from the ground. Maybe it's the lift kit. Yeah, I probably should have done this on the ground. No matter. Woo! It's a horny Silverado. Look at that. Here, let's chuck a thermometer in the dash here. We can kind of keep an eye on what these temperatures are doing. I know you guys can't see because it blurs a little bit up close. Right now we're 90 degrees and falling. So that should stabilize probably like 60. I want to see like 60. Okay, I've got the AC machine connected and our pressures are looking fairly decent. We're 225 on the high side here and about 45 on the low side, which is a little bit high. We could be undercharged, but I'm gonna let this thing warm up and heat soak and we're gonna see what these pressures do. In the meantime, let's come up top. I'm gonna give it some throttle. I'm gonna throttle this thing up. AC just shut off. See the pressure drop? And now compressor's on. That's weird. Off. Yeah, I was getting a little warm in there. Yeah, compressor's off. Now it's back on. That's kind of odd. Let's see what the temperatures inside are looking like. $76. It's not cold enough. Okay. Yeah, it feels cool on both sides, but yeah, 76 is not going to cut it. Gather some information and make some known measurements here. I'm going to recover the refrigerant in the system. We're going to weigh it out and see what's in there. You guys don't need to see all this. Recover. We're just going to take all the refrigerant out, put it in a storage tank. The machine's going to tell us how much we took out. That way we can determine the charge level. Maybe it's overcharged, maybe it's undercharged. One thing I was looking for, or want to look for, we need to check the fan clutch. Now, when I revved it up, I was feeling quite a bit of air moving through, but I want to see if this clutch is loose or sloppy. Yeah, it's kind of, it's a little worn. Bearing feels good on it. Yeah, I think the fan is okay. If the fan is not fanning as much as it should be, it's not going to pull the air over the condenser as it should. That's not going to pull the heat out of the condenser, and that will cause poor system performance. But usually that's going to be met with excessive high side pressure. So if we had an airflow problem, we could see the high side spiking up to like 350, 400, 450 even on PSI scale. I could prove it by putting a blanket over the front of this, but it's really not necessary. Take my word on it, that's what happens. AC machine recovered 0.952 pounds of refrigerant. Okay, all right, I've got the truck pulled up in all data. We're gonna go to fluid type and capacities, and we want refrigerant. Where is my refrigerant? There we go. Refrigerant type 134A, and it's not giving me a capacity. That's excellent. Let's try over here, capacity. Front AC, RPO code C60, and rear air conditioning, RPO code C69. So I don't think that has rear air. So it looks like we are at 2 pounds refrigerant. So that had half system capacity, just under half. Okay, so we've got a blower that doesn't blow, and we've got a system with 50% of its charge. Yeah, 0.952 pounds, that's no bueno. So we're gonna go ahead and install the correct system charge, 2 pounds. Then we'll recheck. 0, 2 pounds, low side charge, why not? Send it. Then we'll recheck it once it's finished. Okay, AC machine has finished charging. Let's power it back up. I just heard the compressor kick on. This is good. We're starting to suck up some refrigerant. Low side's falling. High side is climbing. This is what we want. That's a little high. That's a little high. We're high and high, both sides. Now what? Let's give it some throttle. Maybe that fan is not enough fan after all. .300 PSI. 150 on that high side. That's a little much. Can do it again. Get you guys in closer. Yeah, too much. So now what? We have an airflow restriction? Yeah, let's find out. Let's grab a Steel Choice fan and throw this fan in front of the truck, give us some supplementary air, and then see if we can't get those head pressures to come down. So the swamp cooler does not have the elevation here, so what we're going to do is we're going to stack them up. We're going to take this fan here, stack it, help me out guys, stack it on top right here. That's going to give us good line of sight into our radiator area. So that's not working either. So we need an extension cord. A funny story about this thing. I saw these extension cord reels at Costco, and I was telling my wife, hey, I'm gonna get some of those. She's like, why? You don't need more extension cords. You have extension cords everywhere. This has proven to be the most useful extension cord that I've ever had the opportunity to purchase. And it's our little inside joke from now on, because every time Lauren says she needs an extension cord, I get this one because she said I didn't need it, but I decided I needed it. Little funny marital joke. Anyway, we're gonna power this guy up. It's gonna send some air over the cooling package, and we should be able to observe that high side pressure coming down. So let's get this thing fired up. Move it in close. Come on, high side. Don't make a liar out of me. Okay, this got interesting because even with supplemental air and an extra fan on it, we're still running too high on our high side. That's a little confusing. So we either have a restriction in the system. Let me turn all this stuff down real quick. We have a restriction in the system, or we still have an airflow problem. I'm gonna pull this top cover business off right here, and we're gonna take a look at the condenser behind the grill and see if we have an issue with some kind of airflow restriction, or maybe like a routing problem or something. Let's just pull this off and inspect it. Let's get rid of all these little push tabs here. Put that thing to the side. See what we can see. And there's our condensing unit. It's definitely hot to the touch. There's supposed to be little flaps that go inside of here that prevent airflow from escaping the cooling package. Those are missing. And we can see, yeah, there's the little push tabs, one there and one there, that hold those little flaps on. So that one's missing on this side. Let's check the other side. And the survey says this flap is missing on this side as well. So those have been removed. Oh, there's some of it. Look, there it is. They've been removed or they've fallen out. This one appears to have fallen out. That's supposed to be connected in there, but it's all torn up. That's not going to work. Yeah, it's no bueno. So we're getting somewhere. I moved the fan and shoved it right onto the condenser, and we did lose a little bit of high side pressure, but that's not even close to what we need. Okay, let's check temps again. I moved the gauge over to the center, and we're now running about 78. Okay, not even close. Let's go ahead and shut this thing down. Temp gauge is good. It's not overheating. I was concerned at first it was going to overheat, and that was the issue. That does not appear to be the case. But I think the airflow thing is going to be our primary issue here. I don't know about this. That's a little odd, what's going on with this fan shroud. Being a 99, I don't have the best memory of the configuration of these, so I don't know if this is supposed to be this way, or if this shroud is the wrong shroud, or what the deal is. This might be the wrong fan shroud for this truck. Additionally, the fan shroud is not connected properly. See that gap right there? Well, look at here. This thing is supposed to fit into that little groove right there. Something's not right. Because if we fit that into the groove, it's going to raise this back up to here. So if we raise this thing back up, then the fan itself will not fit the shroud properly. So we've got the wrong parts in here. Yeah, it's either the shroud or the radiator. Yeah, something's not adding up, because that tab should fit into that tab on the radiator and it's not. Yeah, I don't think this is factor. I think this goes all the way up here. We've got the wrong radiator shroud inside of this vehicle. That's, I think that's the primary problem here. It's the wrong shroud. Yeah, definitely. Let's look at it from, let's turn on all this wind. Let's look at it from the bottom real quick and see if it has those same little bracket types of deals. Let's see what we can see. Rolling around in the dirt. Yep, look there. See that little bracket? And that one? Those brackets are there to bring this fan shroud down and bolt it on. So this vehicle has the wrong fan shroud. Yeah, that's definitely an issue, especially with that gap right there, because when the fan is trying to pull air through this thing, when we're stationary, there's going to be more resistance for the air to pass through the radiator cores than there will be for air to pass through that little gap right there. So what that fan is effectively doing is it's pulling air from this gap and this gap and the one at the bottom, and it's pulling that hot air from the engine compartment through the shroud, and it's just circulating it here. It's actually not pulling air through the cooling package like it's designed to for previously stated reasons. Number one, this is not fitting properly, and number two, those little flaps that go in there to keep the air from just bypassing the radiator when you're moving forward, those are also missing. So I'm surprised that we didn't tear up an AC compressor running high head pressures. That's probably why it's at half of a charge, because it cools better with the lower charge than it did with the higher charge. But it won't remain because reserve cooling capacity is diminished because there's less refrigerant in the system. So we've got a system setup error going on here. It all needs to be replaced. Well, the fan shroud and those little flaps. Let's see if I can't find a fan shroud for this unit. Okay, so I just called up Eric at I Do Cars, and he wants me to pull this shroud out. He says that does not look normal to him either. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this shroud out and get the part number off of it, and Eric's gonna check for the right part number, but I think that this shroud assembly is the incorrect unit. So let's pop this guy out real quick. Looks like it's gonna be 210 mils, and then down below we have a pair of push pin connectors. We can encourage these guys to come on out with just this little trim tool here. Ooh, balancing act here. 2 hands on it, I got it. Next one. We'll get the other 2 on the other side. Give this hot air intake the reach around. Oh, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Come here. There we go. See, built-in parts trays on Chevrolets. They're everywhere. That last one out of there. Okay, so 210 mils, and that shroud should come out. hot air intake is not going to get me stuck. Not doing this. That's hot. Hot coolant hose. Yeah, the hot air intake's got me stuck, so I gotta pull this intake off next. Yay! I think that said Spectrum on it. Chinesium Spectrum. Okay, fan shroud. Coming with me. Okay, here's our part number, made in Canada, eh? Part number is going to be 157075119er. Let's go look it up. 157075119. Fan shroud upper. Go to eBay. There's a picture of one, and it looks like the one that I have. It's the same, very similar to that one there. See the spacing above the radiator? That appears to be the correct part. Interesting. All right, just got off the phone with Eric again, and he says that this part number on the lower shroud and the part number on that upper shroud are the correct ones that match this VIN. So something's not right because that spacing should not be there. So why do we have an alignment issue? And why do we have these gaps? What are we doing here, and why, and how did it happen? Because we need to get this airflow situated, otherwise this AC is never going to work and it's going to chew up compressors. Let's see here. I wonder, this is new. You know what? I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. There it is. See that? It's got a body lift. See that 3-inch, 4-inch or whatever body lift it's got? That big puck right there? That's not supposed to be there. That shroud is supposed to sit right here on this mount. Yeah, there's a new bolt. That's why these are new. That's part of the body lift. We took the old ones out and give the new ones, otherwise there'd be a huge gap right here. Yeah, let's check some of the other mounts. That's what we're doing. We have a body lift, yep. Yeah, see it. Oh, and the engine, that body mount is also bad. See the tear in it? Yeah. Yeah, we've got a body lift. That's the problem. We have modified it into oblivion. Now the AC doesn't work. Who'd have thought? Well, now what do we do? I'm not gonna tell the guy to take the body lift off. You know, this is a prime candidate for an electronic fan conversion. Yeah, these came factory equipped with E-fans. There was a pair of them. You eliminated the clutch fan and put the 2 electric fans there. This is actually a really good candidate for electric fan conversion. I think we can do that with all factory parts too, but I don't have any of that stuff around here today, so I don't think bringing this to fruition or conclusion is in the cards right now. But I've identified the problem. I'm wondering if I can just fill these gaps with something, and no, that's probably not going to work. I don't think that'll work. No, we need to get the right airflow going. We need the flappers on the side. And we need good fan flow. Okay, so it's the next day, and I talked to the owner of the Silverado, and he said he does not want to install the factory option for the electronic fans. They're a little pricey, and there's some programming involved, which is also a little pricey. It cost, I think it cost me $225 to have a module programmed. That's through an outside programming company. They do it remote through the internet. I got a little module you plug in to the DLC in the car, and then they link to it wirelessly, then install your options. It's $225 for that. So it's going to be a little pricey to convert this particular setup to the factory Silverado electric fans. So that kind of put me in a rock and a hard place because I need more airflow, but I can't get more airflow. So what we're going to do is I have a replacement fan clutch. This is a severe duty unit that you would find in like let's say like an ambulance or a very heavy duty vehicle, something that may have like a cargo box in the back. The Isuzu NPRs with the 6-liter are a good representation. I think that's what this listed for. So it's going to fit on the factory water pump. It is of similar size and dimension, but this thing should be engineered to hook up and provide more airflow. It's going to be less resistant to clutching and spinning, and it's going to be more prone to engaging at lower speeds. What that should translate into is a faster and more aggressive fan actuation, which is going to pull some more air. So hopefully we can overcome the air gaps. I may have to put like a flap on here or something to keep air from recirculating on this side. Might have to do some kind of flap on the bottom to keep the air from recirculating around. Oh, and I'm going to try to put in some kind of insulation over here on the sides to keep the air from going around the radiator. I'm not sure how effective this is going to be, but we're going to try to do it. So here's the insulation stuff that I've got. It's actually for HVAC systems, things of that nature, but I should be able to shove this into those cracks on the sides of the radiator and help block off some of that air. We can secure it with zip ties. So what we're gonna do first, I think, is get this old fan out of here and remove the fan from the clutch. That way we can bolt the new fan, or the old fan, to the new clutch. We'll put that in last because I'd like to engineer some kind of something to keep the air from getting in through those cracks. So let's model through this as best we can and see if we can't get this airflow situation situated. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna use the pneumatic impact driver. We've got the adapter that goes in the impact gun and the fan clutch wrench tool. So this guy's gonna slip in here like so. We're gonna run it at that angle, so when we hit this thing with the impact gun, it's gonna leverage this thing down and turn the clutch on the fan. We have to break it free from the threads on the water pump. Now looking down, there's a big nut. See that big nut down there? We slide the wrench portion over that. Okay. Install the gun on the end of the tool. Just kind of slide it on there. Or not. What's the deal? What gives? There. And apply some shop air to the tool. Give it a couple blurps. It is broken free. Good. Pull the tool out. Now we're free to spin the fan off. You spin me round, round, round. Fan goes round, round. Don't quit my day job because I'm not a singer. Bam. All right. So there's our unit. Now, we just need to unbolt the back of this. The clutch will drop out of the fan, and then we can bolt it on to the new clutch. Before I put that clutch in and put the shrouding back on, I'm gonna make the pieces to direct some airflow. I've got a big strip of old conveyor belt material. It's a used piece of conveyor belt. Looks like they took it out of service for like a grocery store or some kind of warehousing facility. So I've got this this bulk piece, and you can see I've been cutting it up and using it to make fan shrouds on other vehicles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a 30-inch by 3.5-inch strip off the bottom of this, and this strip is going to be screwed to the bottom of the lower radiator support to block off the airflow at the bottom. And I'll make a similar strip for the top. We'll use self-tapping screws to secure it, and that should help to direct our airflow issue. Okay, we've got our first piece. I cut this a little bit long, that way it can slide behind the shroud piece over there. Yeah, I need a bigger stool. Come up here. So what we'll do, we'll maneuver this thing in, and I need to make, I think, a couple cuts in it to help it fit a a little bit farther down and get past these brackets. Now, let me show you. If I cut out a notch here to accommodate that bracket and another notch here to accommodate that bracket, this will slide down, and then I can bolt this section on flush with this little lip right here. That's what we're gonna do. So let me pull this back out. We'll make a cut. Yeah, this looks really good. I'm cool with this. Cut it right here at my thumb. Yeah, a little wider than that. There we go. Trim it off. This stuff is thick. There we go. One little notch removed. So now, let me set this back in. That notch slides down. That's pretty beautiful right there. And we'll do one more notch on this side right here. So this might get a little ugly and sloppy because I'm trying to run self-tapping screws with an electric ratchet at a weird goofy angle, but the idea is going to be we're going to take these self-tappers and set this conveyor belt up against this lip like what we talked about and run a few of those bolts through to secure this, and that's going to prevent any airflow from coming in through that little crack down there. Actually, that's a big crack, but we need to make that stop and quit bypassing air. So let's bolt it down as much as we can. Hopefully I don't slip and bust a hole in the radiator, because that wouldn't be bad. Okay, so this is not ideal. I'm gonna try it. Loud noises. I need more speed. The speed's not gonna cut it. Okay, tool change. We're gonna do it with the gun. Not very ideal, but that only worked because I got it started with the electron ratchet. That's all that was. Okay. Whoa, falling off my ladder. Next one. Put it right here. I'll space these kind of close-ish together if I can. I just lost my screw. Ah, the joys of self-tapping screws. They're great, but I hate them at the same time. Stop it! Yeah. There we go. Next victim. Right about here is good. Gotta space them close together so they don't let air seep in between. Look at that. Piece of metal gets stuck in there. Created an air gap where I didn't want one. Moving on. Don't spill that, Ray, Butterfingers. I'm hunched over this thing and my glasses are falling off. There we go. Just run it on down the line. I certainly hope this works. I will be a tad miffed if I find it's an ineffective solution. Make me highly upset. Okay. Coming up to the end here, I think. Gravity. There we go. That should do it. Okay, so we're taking some spray paint here, and I would like to get rid of the shiny lookingness on these fasteners. Doesn't look that great. I don't want them to rust. I don't think they will, but I don't care. They're getting spray painted. No, spray paint will not make the radiator not radiate. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Now, since that's ugly, we're gonna fill in the gaps. And even my spray paint job is ugly, but it's fine. Nobody will see it except for us. There we go. What do you guys think? A little better? I know I probably missed a spot, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and get the old clutch off the fan. 13 mil times 4. Yeah. It's stuck. It's unstuck. There we go. So let's do a quick compare. I know you guys can't feel this. That one turns. I feel more resistance out of this one than I do out of this one. Yeah, this one's even getting a little lighter as we keep turning. This one is not. Okay. Take this guy, get rid of the water. It's gonna bolt up, that's good. What have I done? It goes this way. Had it backwards. Witness marks. Get in there. Thread, thank you. Beautiful. Hello, darling. What you need?
I got parts.
What's that? Ah, blower resistor?
Yes.
Thank you. You can just chuck it right here next to that turbo.
Okay.
Thank you, Tara.
Your coffee's coming right up.
How's your day going?
Oh, great. Good.
I haven't seen you much today.
I've been busy.
Good. How's the kids?
Wonderful. Starting our lessons.
Yeah, are they having school today?
They are, yes.
Very good. Yeah, that's pretty stout. No, don't leave. Where are you going?
Get your coffee.
Oh, well, thank you. I love coffee. Thank you, dear. Okay, so, all right, enough flirting with my wife here. Let's go and get this thing spun back into position. It's a highly technologically advanced procedure here. Just kind of drop down in there, set it up against the water pump, give it a couple turns till the threads engage. There we go. Spin it on, and then we'll take the impact driver and give it one little blurt to tighten it up, and we're all set. Afterwards, I'll put the shroud back in. There we go. Time for the air hose. Good to go. Okay, so if memory serves, pull the air thing back off, fold the hose back, slide this guy down, lining up the alignment pegs from the lower shroud to the upper shroud. Very good. Now we take little push pins, put them back in the holes that connect the two halves of the shroud. There's two on either side. A little dark in there. Get in there, pin. I dropped one. I recovered. Whoa, I dropped it a second time. It hit the ground. Almost had it. Okay, one side is on. Let's get this second side over here. Yeah, there's alignment pins right there on either side. So now we're kind of back where we started. We still have this huge gap right here. So let's take another piece. Actually, I don't know, man. I'd hate to cover up part of the radiator. What do you guys think? Should I put another piece in here? What do you think? So if we're moving forward, yeah, we do have an air gap here. I think, yeah, I'm gonna put in another shroud piece right here. So let's cut one that goes from here to here, and we'll cut it about 6 inches in length. Yeah, we're gonna cut one more piece. All right, here is my solution to the issue here. I think this is gonna work out just nice. So I've got this, I have it notched so the bolt holes can meet the metal. I'm gonna slide this behind these brackets, behind here and then in front of here. So what I'll be able to do is bolt this on, and then I'll just use a couple more screws right here to secure it. And that should close off that section right there. I think that'll work. So one of the bolts and the other right over here. Put it all the way left. My left, your right. That is secure. This next one over here, I'll move it all the way to the right. My right, your left. There we go. Bracket's now secure. So we have this bit of flippy floppiness right there. A couple more self-tapping screws right along this edge here. There's nothing behind it. This piece right here is hollow. It's rectangularly shaped. So we'll run in a few more self-tapping, spray paint them, and that'll just leave us with the issue on the sides of the radiator unit. So here, let's see where I want to do this. We'll do one right in the middle. One right in the middle of the two middles. Here's the middle right here, put there. Excellent. Another one here, there's the middle. That'll do, says I. That'll do. What do you guys think? I think that looks pretty darn good. It's definitely going to keep the air from bypassing the fan and the shroud. Okay, so the shrouding insulation business on the sides, I've taken some of this HVAC tubing stuff for your house air conditioner, and I've cut it to length and stuffed that down, wedged it in between the plastic bracket and the radiator. I'll install some zip ties to secure it, but I've got that done on both sides right here. So we've done that in lieu of having those little rubber flaps that are unobtainium. So now, as we sit, this thing should be producing some cool air, and I should have lower head temperatures. Let me get the AC machine hooked back up to it, and we'll fire it up and see what she does. Okay, AC machine has been reconnected. Valves are open. Let's head back in. This is the moment of truth. Is this gonna work or is it not? Beginning engine starting sequence now. Let's fire up climate control, high speed, AC's on, recirculating. All right, what do we got here? Take a look. It's in a book. It's correct pressures, reading rainbow. Yep, 240, I'm good with that. Let's give it some RPM. See if this fan sounds any different. Oh yeah. Nice. Okay, let's hold RPM and watch the gauge, see what it does. Throttling up. pulling some air now, everybody. And it's all pulling right through the core. With the exception of these little cracks right here on the sides, I can't do anything about that because we can't get this to mate up and connect. Not gonna work. Maybe some zip ties can draw it in tighter, but with this gap right here sealed up, the bottom gap sealed up, that fan's pulling all the air through. It's doing a highly good job. It's an aggressive fan, and we've got our pressures exactly where we want them. Let us go and inspect the temperature. And the survey says 62 right now. It's down to 62 with the doors open on speed 4. Speed 5 is inoperative. Beautiful. Alrighty, it's been about an hour. I have all the accessories bolted back on. Shrouding's there. The shroud has been fixed. Let's go back and do a recheck real quick on our thermal meter. Yes, I've got it moved and we are hanging out about 65 degrees. Not too bad for the current weather conditions of the day. It is not blowing warm. We're not overheating. The engine has heat soaked. It's up to temp. Let's give this some RPM. Put up to about 1500. Yeah, I'm seeing that gauge start to creep down a little bit. Yep, coming down. Beautiful. So when we get this out on the road and we've got good airflow, we should probably see temps down in the 40s or so. I'm very happy with this so far. All right, windows down a little bit. Let's go ahead and back it out. We'll take it for a ride out on the ROAD and see if we get optimal cooling system temperatures out of this unit. Backing out, honks for safety. Honk, honk. Off the ramp, there we go. Backing her down, beautiful. All right, let's see how this thing works out. Once we get up to speed here. Curious to see what this fan sounds like while we're driving too. I hope it's not too aggressive. I've done this before and put more aggressive fans on and the customers did not like the noise. Can't really hear it though over the exhaust. Needs an alignment. Still feels nice and cold. All right, good to go. Let's give it some beans and see how it does. Very loud truck. Temperature is about 62 right now. I need to get a digital one of these so you guys can see a little easier. Temps look good on the dash. 61. Nice and cold. I think we're in good shape here, guys. So that being said, I do not believe I have anything more to offer you in this particular video or this particular truck. As always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this configuration situation in the comment section down below, and also let me know what you think about my repair attempt. Was that valid, or should I have insisted on the electric fans? Let me know. I think the electric fans would still perform a little bit better, but all things considered, I think this is a viable option considering the situation of this truck. So that being said, as always, and one more time, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for being here. See you later in a video, in a AC job, in a transmission.